Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are the Jocks of All Trades podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, we said in October. We're not actually here, but we wanted to make sure that we bring you some spicy content to go with your bland turkey for this Thanksgiving.
Why do you have to roast the turkey like that? Well, I mean, turkeys are getting
unintended.
This is our third year doing this. Unfortunately, we're not all here, but we do have the wonderful addition of Matt and Bugman Jay, but he's not here. So Matt's just going to be both of them. I don't know if he has a sock puppet that he's going to use. I'm not sure. We didn't talk about this beforehand. So
I could throw my I can go grab a pen and just throw them in there.
That was a throwaway joke. We're not actually running with it.
I'm so glad we do this because this is one of my favorite episodes because it's just fun. So much fun that Ohio State decided they didn't want to be in the playoffs this year. Sorry.
As of this date, Ohio State's still undefeated. What are you?
Right behind you. Anyways.
We're just going to throw out Michigan. Michigan's also undefeated, so we're just going to throw that out there.
Well, when people are watching this, they won't be in 2 days.
That's fair.
We will see.
And then there's Penn State. All right. Sorry.
Listen, I already know my team struggles every year when it gets down to crunch time. You don't need to tell me. I already know.
Sorry.
But it's so much fun, though.
It's not.
It is. Okay, guys. We are all fantasy gurus, kind of. Some of us are a little more intuitive than others.
Yeah,
and we all have watched our fair share of games. Let's start out with the first game on Turkey Day at 12:30. Lions and Bills. Do we have predictions, some fantasy implications? What is everybody thinking?
Well, again, this is pre-recorded. I'm sure we'll probably say that 100 million times. So right now the Lions suck and the Bills are the best team in the NFL. So I'd assume that will go the same way and the Bills will smack their behinds. Fantasy implications, yeah, the Lions defense is horrid. Start every Bill player you have and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. There are a few players, I think, on the Lions that on the defense that are good. You have Jeff Okudah, who's been okay. So, I would still probably, if you have Stephon Diggs or Gabriel Davis or anyone like that, I would still start him. Josh Allen, definitely start him. But, yeah, expect the Bills to just roll right through it.
I was going to say, I believe the Lions are still giving up the most points in the NFL as of today. Again, this is pre-recorded. So, as someone who does have Gabe Davis on their fantasy team, multiple teams, Devin Singletary and the Bills defense and Tyler Bass. Yeah, I'm looking at starting every single Bills player I can for that game.
Just go all Bills.
All Bills.
Mafia.
This is pre-recorded. I love it.
So barring injuries, do this.
Sorry, I'm going to switch it back. I think the only startable players for the Lions would have to be some combination of – that was scary. TJ Hawkinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe Jameson. Again, this is early. Maybe Jameson Williams if he's alive by then. Who knows? But I think they're going to get down early and they're going to pass a lot. So I think any of those pass catchers are pretty safe to start. But it is the Bills' defense, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah, it won't be an interesting game. I'd really be surprised if it was. So
this will be the time that I'm eating on that day. This will not be the time that I'm sitting down to watch.
Yeah, it gives you time to get in your tryptophan nap from eating all the turkey, and you'll wake up just in time for the actual games.
And just enjoy Josh Allen's greatness while it's there. Like, no one really hates Josh Allen right now, except for maybe some Chiefs fans or Patriots fans. But like he's not on that level yet of Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, where everyone hates him. So while you love him still, enjoy his play, eat some food, and just have fun with it.
Just vibe with it.
Yeah.
So the second game on the docket, the 4:30 slot, is the Cowboys and the Giants. This one's more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Not because I love either one of these teams, but as of right now, both teams are not bad. Both have winning records and both have some quality wins. Like I can't say, "Oh, you suck." Granted, this is before Dak comes back, so I guess it depends what version of Dak comes back. Pass catchers for sure. I never am on the train to start Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard because they're just too split of backs, and they never produce well enough to start. I could be wrong. That's my takes. The Giants are the Giants. Who knows who's catching the ball at this point? Saquon all the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, if you have Saquon, start him.
I would say watching this Eagles and Cowboys game, the only way the Eagles are really able to move the ball, and this is the only team that moved the ball this effectively against the Cowboys defense, because the Cowboys defense is amazing. Shout out Micah Parsons. Is a lot of our what's that?
Trayvon Diggs.
Hey, he didn't do anything.
Oh.
RPO, read option, get Micah Parsons in space because he is their number one player, no doubt, and really do a lot of play action stuff to keep them off balance because they're such an aggressive defense. You have to do that. So in a matchup with the Giants and the Cowboys, Daniel Jones, I'm sure, will get a lot of rushing yards, and I'm sure he's going to look to his tight end quite a bit. Because, yes, Trayvon Diggs, I'll give credit where credit is due. You're probably not going to have Kenny Golladay or Darius Slayton or Kadarius Toney beat him. So you're going to have to do a lot of maneuvering around the pocket, getting Daniel Jones out in space, getting Saquon in space, and utilizing those tight ends. So I picked up Daniel Bellinger in my league. I think he's like 14th in tight end rankings right now, but his usage is going up a little bit every week. So it seems like Danny Dimes likes to throw to him. So that might be the one sneaky guy I'd probably start for the Giants. But, yeah, Giants offense doesn't really have a chance against Cowboys defense. They're really going to have to try to shut the Cowboys offense down for a chance to win. So
I was going to say, for me personally, I think like all the teams for the NFC East have really surprised me this year. I mean, aside from Washington, but I digress.
Yeah.
But, New York has really surprised me. Dallas, up to this point, has really been – I mean, they've lived up to the hype. I use that term very loosely. So, and, Philly's, doing great things as well. So, out of all the teams in the NFC East, like I can honestly say I'm actually excited to see a Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. It's just like, oh, it's not going to be crap. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And then Matt, I'm sure you'd love to take the lead on this next game. It is the 8:20 matchup, the Vikings and the Patriots. Matt, as the resident Vikings fan, lead us out here.
So I am looking forward to this game. I will miss some of it, not a whole lot, because for me, family takes priority. We do have Thanksgiving traditions, so I'll miss a little bit of it. But I'm excited for this game. At this point of the season, Dalvin Cook should be in full swing. Definitely start him in your leagues if you can. Kirk Cousins, he'll. The jury's still out on Kirk. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. That's why I said, if you have Cook, go ahead and start him because Kirk Cousins will probably choke because it's a primetime game. Go figure. No shocker there. Justin Jefferson, who knows? He might throw a few more passes, in that game like he did a couple weeks back. So, yeah, me personally, I mean, it should come as no surprise. Taking the Vikings all the way. Skull. Let's go.
The secret weapon here is Bailey Zappi.
Yes.
Listen, I'm all aboard the Zappi train. Mac Jones can sit his sweet butt in the chair, and Bailey Zappi can start the rest of the way.
I'm impressed with Zappi, really.
Honestly, where did that come from? It's insane. Also insane that J.C. Jackson is like one of the best corners in the game when he's with the Patriots. Then he goes on the Chargers, and now he gives up like over 100 passer rating. So anytime you leave Patriots as a secondary player, you automatically just suck. And the Patriots pretty much shut down. Somehow they continue to do this, shut down the opposing team like every week. They find a way to just, grind their gears, figure out what they do best, and take it away. So I'm sure in this game, Kirk Cousins is going to be blitzed a ton and under a lot of pressure. I would expect a lot of Jefferson big plays as well, just 'cause that's how he is. But also probably a lot of sacks from the Patriots defense. So
Bailey Zappi, the next Tom Brady.
yeah, it is
Scary.
There's your hot take, guys.
In 30 years, he'll probably end up being divorced with Bazell Jensen, and we'll continue on. Yeah.
Only if he kisses his kids on the mouth. That's the important part. Also, I have to throw one more thing in this game that might be an interesting factor when it comes around. Tyquan Thornton, I want to see what he turns into. Is he just going to be like Nelson Aguilar for the 2017 Eagles? Is he going to be that speedster? Or is he just going to be a slot option that just disappears every week? So I don't know. He's just now getting healthy as of when we're talking about this now. But I have a feeling he could be a factor by the time this game comes around.
Probably.
That is it for this week of games. I think everything else that comes up is kind of boring because it doesn't have to do with Turkey or anything else. So these are my favorite games usually of those weeks. Let's go to a fan favorite and our original slot for Mondays was Are You For Real? I would be happy to lead us out on this. Matt, you're going to see how excited we get really quickly. Look, it's been a great run, Kevin. However you say your name.
We have tried.
It's time to retire. I'm kidding. But seriously, what are you doing? You did so well with the first three phases. It was beautiful. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't, what are they doing with this? It was pretty easy and I'm quoting a friend of mine, by Age of Ultron, we pretty much knew what was going on. And it was common knowledge, Thanos is coming. How do we prepare for that? Like that was it. We knew what was happening. The problem with phase 4, we got Loki way too early because now we all know it's Kang. There's no secret that it's Kang. By the time I'm saying this, you would have known that it was Kang 6 months ago. It's no secret that it's Kang. At this point, you're just playing little CGI games with She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, and it's just Werewolf by Night was better than some of your TV shows. That's not good. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think this whole phase, for the most part, if you were to grade it all together, there's not enough to pull it up for me to be successful as a whole phase overall. Shang-Chi, great movie. Some of these aren't out yet. I'm sure they'll be great. But Eternals brings that down for me. Black Widow brings that down for me. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was okay. There's too much okay. There's too much because Loki and the timeline. I'm guessing this is all timeline things. They're just trying to make a point of, the sacred timeline's broken. Look at all this. I don't care about all this. Tell me how Kang is coming, what we have to do to stop it, and who's involved. I don't need an origin story for Captain Marvel's second cousin's brother, sister's grandfather. I don't need that. I really don't. So I'm just done with this phase. I'm ready for the next phase. I'm ready to go back to the Marvel that makes me want to sit in the theater and go, they did that. And I haven't had that. Werewolf by Night was the closest thing I've had to that in a while. and even that was a short little clip. So yeah.
Plus the fact that I don't think they know what they're doing with their own characters anymore, evidenced by the fact that in things like, WandaVision was a great TV show, but it left the loose end of White Vision. You had the perfect chance to bring him back in Multiverse of Madness, and you literally just forgot he existed.
That film was.
What are you doing?
I mean, I think they're smarter than we give them credit for. I mean, they built one of the best universes ever in movie history. And I mean, I don't think we've seen a lot of Vision, and White Vision's not that much different from regular Vision, except that he's white. So like, I don't think it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't think we're missing White Vision. If he would have showed up, it would have been like, okay, that's cool. But like, oh my gosh, Wanda stopping madness with Vision right in front of her face again, that's too easy. And I think, while I do agree, some of these properties, some of these shows, movies, they don't hit home as hard as the other ones. I think they're really trying to tell different kinds of stories, like a myriad of different kinds of stories, because some of them really do. Some of the Marvel movies in the previous phases really do fall short for a lot of people because they're so cliche. They're so like, we know what's coming. We know what's going to happen. It's the same formula over and over and over again. And when you do the same formula over and over and over again, people do get tired. Now, I didn't get tired. I could have had more of it, but I think there are people out there, and for better or for worse, they've changed up their storytelling in a different way with Disney Plus. So there wasn't as many movies out there as, like, if they would have put Falcon and the Winter Soldier, made it a 2.5-hour movie and put it on the big screen, it would have been mildly successful. I think people would have enjoyed it. But they're like, what, why are we doing this? It's going to be another rerun of Winter Soldier, but probably worse. Like, so they're trying these different things. Spider-Man was the best of the bunch, no doubt. Yeah. And Loki, WandaVision, awesome. Doctor Strange was a little bit underwhelming for me, not going to lie. Black Widow was fine for what it was. But, some of these, yeah, I mean, some of these shows I really did enjoy. Like Miss Marvel, I'll probably never watch again, but I enjoyed it. I liked the mutant tagline at the end. I guess that's not really a reason why I like the show, but overall it was enjoyable for me. And then She-Hulk, I actually liked She-Hulk. It's very much like the comics. It's not going to reel anybody in with like, oh, this is the most amazing show ever. But like, it's heavily comic booky. And it is a comic book, and not everybody loves every comic book ever made. Dear Lord, I don't. Some of it should be burned and thrown away forever. There's a lot of weird things with comic books. So, like, not everyone's going to love every single comic book, and this is a comic book movie. So, I think they do have a plan. I mean, Kang's an amazing villain. Doctor Doom's probably coming soon. So, like, there is some hope there at the end. At the end of the tunnel. Namor looks awesome, by the way. So, like, there's some hope there. You just have to kind of wade through some of this underlying background storytelling till we get, like, the main,
Yeah. I guess my argument is just movies are so very, what have you done for me lately? Series are like that. And you got to give us more good than bad, if you're going to put us in the middle of the waiting period. And I don't feel like I've gotten that. Like, I feel like I've gotten more like, oh, I'm watching this because it's Marvel, not because, oh, this is like awesome. So I get your point, and I do, and I agree with you because that's where I am. I'm just complaining because, like, I've spent so much money going to see all these movies, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean,
all right,
maybe it's strategy by Marvel and Disney because they are introducing the X-Men to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So maybe that's when they'll push in all their chips, and then it's just like, okay, you've been waiting, here you go.
That's a good point.
I could actually go with that theory because I haven't watched any of the movies, and I'm probably going to catch heat for not watching any of the movies. But the fact that it got such a huge reaction with the teaser trailer for Deadpool 3, when it was like, hey, Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine. And word is, he's probably going to be in his comic book costume for the first time. And
finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
So I could actually, if Marvel decides, you know what? we're just going to lull people to sleep and then push all of our chips in for when we add the X-Men to the MCU. You know what? You already somewhat have evidence there.
That's true.
And Fantastic Four is a massive property as well. And Doctor Doom is one of the biggest villains in Marvel history. Like,
are they going to bring back John Krasinski?
If they screw it up, I'm going to scream.
Yeah, like this. You can definitely push all your chips in. Like, Secret Wars is the biggest thing ever, and they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know how long it takes to set up a movie like Secret Wars? Like, a lot of time, a lot of effort to set up a story like that. So, yeah.
I'm not getting my hopes up too high on Fantastic Four because I mean, who knows? Maybe third time will be the charm because you had the one like 2 movie series that it was all right, could have been better. That's when we were first introduced to Chris Evans before he became Captain America. Wasn't bad, could have been better for sure. And then you had whatever version came out, not too awful long ago, and it was just like, what is this? Like, I couldn't get through the whole movie. I couldn't get through it though. I couldn't get through it.
No,
I really couldn't.
Yeah, it was bad.
But no, I'm not getting my hopes up too high on it. Not until I see like who the cast is. Are they going to do right by Doctor Doom, so on and so forth. So. I will say, though, with Phase 4, what if it left me wanting a lot more? Like, I thought that was a great series that Disney Plus came out with, and it's just like, man, I really want another season of this. Like, I really do. So, who knows? Maybe we will get another season of that. I don't know.
I'll wrap this up just to say, I would rather have my eyeballs taped open and watch 700 hours of the Star Wars Holiday Special than to go through Phase 4 again. Like that's where I'm at. So are you for real? That's mine. I'm gonna wrap it up because we could do a whole episode just on this. But I think I accidentally put Luke next in the slide, Kyle. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Luke is next in the slide. Sorry.
All right, so here we go. My are you for real is the fact that we can't have the 12-team playoff already this year. And it's looking we may or may not get it next year, but I'm hopeful we can get it as soon as possible because, I mean, if we went by the AP poll right now and the playoffs were set right now, look at the games we'd be getting. First, you get USC at Clemson. That's probably the biggest matchup of all of the ones here because that's just so high profile. Winner goes to Ann Arbor to the Big House to play Michigan. That's massive. Great for college football. Then you go over and this would be the 6 and 11 seeds. You have Oklahoma State playing in Tuscaloosa at Alabama. Big box office. It would be fantastic to have, the SEC and the Big 12 coming together for that kind of matchup. That would be massive. Winner gets Tennessee. So you could potentially have a rematch of what just happened. Well, not for people here, but for what happened, around a month ago. Then you have Oregon at Ole Miss. And then winner of that goes to play Ohio State. So you have a potential rematch of the early game in the season last year where Oregon came into the shoe and beat Ohio State. You could have a rematch there and potentially a really great story there. And then to wrap it all up with a nice bow, you have UCLA coming to play at TCU. As of the moment recording this video, TCU is undefeated and the winner would get Georgia. So just based on that, those games are fantastic for the sport. And it's those kinds of cross Power 5 conference games that you need to start to create parity. But it also keeps the magic of the 4-team playoff in that you still, if you are a powerhouse in college football, you want to as high a seed as possible because if you can still get into the top 4, you get a first round bye. So there's still incentive to be in the top 4. If the top 4 still get rewarded, but then it starts to create parity across the rest of college football, because if you are a good but not elite program like a TCU, like an Oklahoma State, Clemson now, or Tennessee, you can still tell your kids you have a shot. You can tell your recruits, you have a shot to play at a national championship, even if you come here. And that's a huge plus to tell these 17, 18-year-old kids coming out of high school who, they want to go to the NFL. Yes, they want to get a big paycheck, but they want to have fun getting there. And what better way to have fun than to compete for a national championship? They want those rings. They want those sponsorship deals. They want that NIL money, and you can't get that as much if you're not playing on a national championship contender. This fixes the problem. I love it. I think it should be implemented as soon as possible.
It's evil. It's all evil. My only complaint is that this isn't March Madness, where everything feels much more even in March Madness. Anybody could beat anybody. I'm just so stuck on the fact that there are 3 elite teams in here. Whether we took the L or not, it's still Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. I'm not going to give Michigan that denotation yet, because this is the second year. This is the second year that you've done really well. Do it for 5 years, and I'll put you in there.
Fair argument.
But the rest, Clemson, booty cheeks, USC, who cares about Caleb Williams? TCU, who are they? Why are they suddenly good? They're like the Boise State of 2011.
As of the moment of recording this video, TCU is undefeated.
So was Boise State in 2011. Why didn't they play for the national championship? Because they suck. Like, this is what I don't like about this. Oregon's bad. Ole Miss is bad. Oklahoma State is bad. I'll give you Tennessee. I'll give you Tennessee and Michigan. They're okay.
Okay. You just
They're
said
right.
Ole Miss is bad, but it's going to be hilarious. People watching this video on Thanksgiving if Ole Miss ended up beating Alabama.
That's a big if. The last time they did that, they needed a tip touchdown pass twice to beat us. So,
like you said, Brad, college basketball isn't college football. Last year, the number 1 team, Alabama, beat Cincinnati by 21. Wasn't even a game. And then the number 2 seed, Michigan, lost to Georgia, who I don't even know why they were ever behind Michigan. And Georgia beat them 34-11 by 23 points. Again, there's 2 teams that are always probably going to be there up at the top. And at some point, those teams are going to fall to a lesser team. It always happens. It's college football at some point, but it's not as regular as college basketball. Like, it's not like, we have a 12 seed and somehow Oregon beats Ole Miss. I can't wait to see what Oregon does against Ohio State. Ohio State's going to cream them. Did we see what Georgia did to Oregon? Like, I understand you want some of these lower teams.
Thing about Oregon, that they were going to get creamed going into the shoe last year, and look what happened.
I don't even remember what happened because
Oregon beat us, creamed us. It was not fun for me to watch. I had a very bad day that day.
They got Bo Nix this year, so I don't think he's going to do anything.
It was funny for me to watch. That's all I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, yes,
funny for me to watch the playoff game.
I agree. Some of these teams, when they get in, it's very beneficial for the programs themselves, for the students to get recruits to see them in the final 12 or whatever, to get them some notoriety, recognition. That's great, and I do like that. I just think it's too many teams, and I think it's some of these games are really irrelevant.
Can I piggyback on you for a second?
Yeah.
That with this too many games, and it's the same complaint I had with the NFL extending their season. The more games you add, the more injuries you add.
Yeah.
And I don't like that about a 12-team playoff. 4 is fine. 8 would have been plenty. 8 would have been enough to have parity without it getting out of hand. 12 is just, I don't even know if I want to watch that much college football. You know what I mean? Like, I like that it's nice and tidy and a little bow.
That's
and then
it's over. Take right there.
It is a sus take because I'm not going to care about watching. He's right. Oregon, Ole Miss. Who cares? They're going to get clobbered by Ohio State. Ohio State's going to come out with C.J. Stroud and go. It's not going to be anything great. Like that's what I don't like.
Hear me out. We keep saying,
do you really think UCLA is going to go between the hedges?
They're not going to be able to
beat
compete.
Georgia?
How do you expect them to compete without the recruits? So here's what it is. You have to treat them like contenders a little bit, and watch. They will actually become contenders.
Do you know when they're contenders?
Get a chance to recruit at a higher level.
They're in contenders in the offseason before any rankings happen. They're all contenders. Then what happens is they take fat L's because they're not good, and then they're not contenders. I don't need a 12-team playoff for you to tell me I'm a contender now. It's like a participation trophy at that point.
Yes, but here's the thing. You give teams, even if it's just visual, even if it's just academic at that point, you give teams a chance to compete. They can sell that to recruits, and recruits that would have gone places like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, whoever.
I understand.
Would go to other teams, and that's going to start to even the scales. And then watch, someone like a USC can go and run the table. Someone like an Ole Miss can be like, surprise.
So when
it needs time.
When USC and Clemson play in the GoDaddy Bowl, are you going to take us? Are you going to buy tickets? We're going to go watch them in the GoDaddy Bowl.
No, but I would happily host a watch party. That'd be the most lit watch party ever.
I can't wait to watch.
I'm not going to enjoy it.
I can't wait to watch James Madison against Boise State in the 2027 Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. That's going to be so fun.
I was going to say, what about this? What about this thought? Instead of like the top 12 teams for a 12-team playoff, what if you were to take the conference champion from each?
Well, this already gives in auto bids. I'm pretty sure auto bids are going to be a part of this. Which
they are.
Would you want to see like an Alabama versus like, let's just say, since I was in Muncie, like Alabama versus Ball State? I mean, I think we know how that game's going to go. Like, it's just
Ball State by 12.
Might tune it.
Ball State by 12.
Is it just Power 5 conferences will get the automatic bid, or every conference?
See, I think it should be every conference, because look at what happened this year. Marshall beat Notre Dame, and nobody expected that to happen.
Hey, Brad, Ohio State beat Notre Dame, all right?
You're right. A quality win against Akron and Toledo and Rutgers and Maryland.
You're just happy you don't have to play in the best division in college football.
Luke, I just want to let you know this is the third year in a row that I have trolled you about Ohio State's schedule, and I will continue to do it.
Well, at least we are.
It's our anniversary.
Eking out wins against Missouri.
Neither are we. I didn't play Missouri.
Well, I mean, it's like you want to talk about the strength of the SEC, and well, now we're getting off topic, but
yeah, we
are. Just add in, it's like at least we didn't lose. At least we didn't barely eke out a win against Texas when they've lost their franchise QB and their second string is playing on one foot.
May I remind you, in your conference championship game last year, Michigan played the mighty Iowa that can't score touchdowns this year. So
let's rewind that. In the final game of the regular season, we're going to have to play probably an undefeated Michigan, and you're going to have to play Auburn. Let's talk about that.
Right. And you'll win your division and play Minnesota. Here they come, the Golden Gophers. No one ever says that.
Yeah, and you'll finish out your season with Auburn and Little Sisters of the Poor. I don't care.
See, but our schedule still. I saved it for you because I knew it's here, and I'm going to send it to you after this. Ohio State's strength of schedule is 83rd. Alabama's is 16th.
SEC bias.
Oh, God. Are you for real? He's done. We're moving on.
Guys, let me ask you. Let me preface this by asking some questions, and you can respond. Do you know who Kerry Collins is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you know who Matt McGloin is?
Oh, God, yes.
Do you know who Christian Hackenberg is?
Unfortunately.
Do you know who Trace McSorley is?
Yes, because he's a good quarterback.
Okay. All of these guys made it to the NFL. Now, not all of them were good in the NFL. God, they weren't. Kerry Collins, the most successful of the group. Yeah. All of them made it to the NFL. Yet Sean Clifford has a better passer rating than all of those guys in his career at Penn State. But Sean Clifford is not being talked about in the NFL. Why? Because he stinks. So does that tell you that these stats are skewed? Obviously, the stats are skewed. In this day and age in college football, quarterbacks can throw for thousands and thousands and thousands of yards, 400 yards a game, and you don't have to be good to do it. Yet Sean Clifford can't even do that. So yes, he has the best passer rating of any Penn State quarterback, but that's not saying much because Matt McGloin made it to the NFL. Matt McGloin was a horrible quarterback. Okay. Christian Hackenberg made it to the NFL. Christian Hackenberg was a horrible quarterback.
Yep.
Trace McSorley made it to the NFL. I love Trace McSorley with all my heart. Don't get me wrong. But he wasn't a quarterback. He was a playmaker. He was a college football player. So Sean Clifford being better statistically than all these guys
isn't saying much.
It's not saying much at all, especially when those guys have worse stats and made it to the NFL. And this dude, this douchebag, somehow is still here. And James Franklin just wants to keep. He's earned the right to start. He has.
What is he, an 8th-year senior?
Yeah, pretty much been it for 40 freaking years. Sean Clifford is the most annoying quarterback I've ever watched in my entire life. When you're a freshman and you're making the same mistakes 7 years later, what does that tell you? You haven't grown. You haven't progressed. You don't know what you're doing as a quarterback. You're not getting better.
Or
you're still making
– hit your ceiling.
You've hit your ceiling in probably year 2. Listen, we talked about, I don't know if it was earlier on this exact podcast or before we started recording, about all the Penn State players that are in the NFL now, recently under James Franklin. He had KJ Hamler there, who's doing okay right now. He had Jahan Dotson, who's killing it with the Commanders right now. He had Pat Freiermuth, who every Pittsburgh Steeler loves Pat Freiermuth. He had Journey Brown, who if Journey Brown didn't have a heart condition, he easily would have been a 1st or 2nd round pick in the NFL draft. And, the offensive line, granted, in his career hasn't been great, but this year, statistically, it's been the best pass-blocking offensive line he's ever had, and probably Penn State has had since Franklin got there. If Olu Fashanu wants to come out this year, he'll probably get drafted in the 1st round.
Bless you.
Left tackle at Penn State. All these things surrounding Sean Clifford in his entire career, he had the opportunity to succeed in a conference where, yes, it is physically tough, and there are some decent defenses in there, but he is recruited so well. Franklin's recruited so well with speed, with playmakers, and you still can put up pretty, horrible stats every year. You still go to rock bottom every year. You start out strong, but granted, you don't really play that many tough opponents. The toughest opponent you played was Auburn of last year at home. And then as soon as you hit a Big Ten team that's actually legitimate, Sean Clifford craps his pants and we go back to bad Sean Clifford. I can't stand Sean Clifford with all of my heart. I don't know why he's still on the team. Drew Aller is the future, and Drew Aller could suck. Who knows? We don't know. But the physical tools that Drew Aller has is far, far, far beyond the talents and tools that Clifford will ever have. You can't just teach those things. Like Josh Allen has that arm. You can't teach that. Josh Allen has that build, that physical toughness to run over everybody. You can't teach that. Aller has things in his tool belt that you just can't teach. And we've seen in college football, people start true freshmen. I mean, for Pete's sake, if Quinn Ewers went to Texas as a freshman, he probably would have started. He's basically a freshman now, and he's killing it with Texas. The opportunity to start as a freshman and compete and do well is there in this college football. And if you can't do it with Drew Aller because you're hanging on to overrated 40-year-old senior Sean Clifford, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's James Franklin needs to look himself in the mirror, maybe realize that he's bald and then move on from there. And then I don't know what that had to do with anything. Well, I'm just going to look in the mirror a little bit and see what you can do. Because, the ceiling for Aller is way, way above Clifford's ceiling. Now, the floor right now, yes, Clifford might have a higher floor than Aller, but I guarantee you the highlight plays, the positives that Aller could give you will probably outweigh the negative misreads, mistimes, misthrows that he might have because Clifford can't even throw the ball downfield anymore. So,
yeah. Plus, you want to get Drew reps next year.
And in this era of college football, people go anywhere in matters of a second. Like, that's how
that's how you get him to transfer
right.
out.
You don't want to risk that at all. So that's my piece. I hope, again, pre-recorded. Haha. I hope by this time Clifford has proved me wrong. God, I hope that. Absolutely. Because I love to be proven wrong, and I love for him to put up all these yards and touchdowns in the next few games, but I highly doubt he will. So,
yeah, no, it's actually really sad because Penn State, I think, is actually very, very good with the exception of Sean Clifford and maybe with the exception of Spencer Petras out of Iowa.
Oh, God.
You could
not even a quarterback.
trade Sean Clifford with a lot of starting quarterbacks in the Big Ten and massively improve that team.
Yeah, McCarthy.
Spencer Petras is a theater major, and his goal this season was to pretend to be a quarterback for a whole season, and then he can graduate. That was his internship.
So far, no one has noticed yet.
That's good.
That's the thing about Big Ten quarterbacks, though, because they do so well in college, aside from Clifford. But, there's always a lot of hype when it comes to Big Ten quarterbacks. And once they either get to a big game, like last year for the college playoff, and then they just kind of tank, not to mention, I'm thinking of quarterbacks, like Chad Henne. He was supposed to do great things once he got to the NFL.
Anything is possible.
Make him stop.
I was going to say, I have bad dad jokes, but that one was, oh, God.
He's in training right now.
I am.
That's fair. I'd like to think that I rubbed off on you a little bit, but
you might have.
But Chad Henne didn't do a lot of good things. Justin Fields, I think the talent is still there, but
that franchise hates him.
The franchise
just hates him.
I was going to say the talent's there, but Chicago isn't doing him any favors.
No,
nor anyone for that matter. Some other Big Ten quarterbacks. I think the only one that's successful, obviously, is Tom Brady, but he's been in the league for 40 years, so you got to do some good if you're going to be in the league that long. So I don't know, man. I think quarterbacks in the Big Ten, I never really expect too much out of them. That's just my thought process on them.
There's not many good ones. You make a good point there. And granted, though, Big Ten produces pretty much at this rate every other position in the NFL, but quarterback.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, if you want a wide receiver, defensive player, offensive lineman, literally anything but a quarterback, go to the Big Ten. Sorry, Brad, for your SEC, but
it's all right. Look at who most of the starting quarterbacks are in the NFL, SEC.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that. It's just
it's the one.
If you want anything but a quarterback, go to the Big Ten.
Yeah, exactly.
The Midwest is built different.
We are built different.
All right, Iowa.
Built big and white. Just look at any O-line out of Wisconsin.
Exactly.
All right, Matt.
All right. So this is I'm excited about this one. So I read an article. Again, this is pre-recorded. I feel like we all have to say that at least 50 times during this.
But this was pre-recorded.
I read an article about Brian Robinson. We know what happened. He was the victim of a carjacking, was shot twice in the leg, so on and so forth. We know that. He's come back so far, and essentially is going to be taking over the role of a starting running back for the Washington Commanders. Now, when you think yourself, okay, Washington Commanders, not that exciting, blah, 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 blah. But this kid, I'm excited to watch. Brad, I'm sure you're excited to watch this kid develop because he is an Alabama guy.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah. So the article that I read was talking about, can a rookie be comeback player of the year? My thought process is yes. This kid, the whole organization loves him. He's done. He hasn't done a lot of great things in the NFL yet. I get that, but his story and how everyone around him just loves the guy. I don't see why he couldn't be a candidate for comeback player of the year in the NFL. So I want to get your guys' take on this. What are you thinking?
I like it. I'm biased, but look, if you can come back from that and be the RB1 for a team as a rookie and perform well, why not? I don't see why not.
Yeah, no, there's a tradition that that rookies, they've come, but they haven't come back because it's their first year. The comeback usually is for a player who didn't perform so well, and then all of a sudden comes roaring back in glorious fashion. And Brian Robinson, he's doing that, but just on a smaller timetable. And from more impressive being down there and roaring back in very spectacular fashion very, very quickly. So I have no qualms with this being a comeback player of the year story because he's coming back from a lot of things that most comeback players of the year don't have to deal with. It's like they have to deal with, I might have gotten injured a little bit. I might have pulled my hamstring a little bit. And so I wasn't as effective last year, but I'm roaring back this year. It's like this dude was robbed. And
he was robbed or shot twice in the leg.
Shot twice in the leg. A lot of people aren't coming back from that. They're like, you know what? I'm retiring with whatever money I made, my $2 million. I'm going to be an analyst now.
Didn't he also try to come back to practice like 2 or 3 days after the fact?
Yeah,
he's
got that dog in him. And it's like, I mean, allow me to say this about an Alabama player. This dog has that dog in him. So, no, I have absolutely no problems with this man being comeback player of the year. I think it'd be an awesome story. Now, he's got to keep up his very good play. He's got to keep playing well. But if he can do that, no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah, I think no matter what, give him like an ESPY at the end of the year, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree with you, Luke. I think, though, like, if the Commanders were an actually, like, good team and good organization, side note, please fire Dan Snyder soon.
Yes.
Yes. If the Commanders were an actually good team, they'd get him the ball more and run the ball well, pass the ball well, do all those good things, and actually, like, give him some good stats because I think he is good enough to do that. And then, like, yeah, for sure, no doubt. I mean, Alex Smith almost lost his leg. So it seems like the NFL likes traumatic things to happen to guys, and then they come back and do good stuff. So, like, that's there. So,
this
like,
dude is the actual theater major.
yeah, so, like, that's there. So if he does, produce well, then, like, yeah, I have absolutely no problem with it. I mean, like you said, Luke, like, this isn't just a normal, like, crap, I tore my ACL. Even though that is pretty significant in the NFL world, I think a lot of people would rather take an ACL tear over gunshot wounds. So
and even better, Brian Robinson takes gunshot wounds. Prince Harry does something to his finger and he's like, I gotta be out for 5 billion weeks. I'm sorry, this man got shot and he tried to come back. Come on, Prince Harry, do better.
You can't throw the ball.
Use your other hand. You're a quarterback. You get paid millions.
He looked like Tim Tebow with his left hand. That would not do that.
Can you just imagine him trying to pick it up and sorry.
I was gonna say the kid's a hard worker. Yeah. He tried to come back two days after being shot. He wanted to play. I'm just gonna throw it out there. He's wearing number 8. Maybe he has that Mamba mentality.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
wrong sport, but I dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to throw it out there. Just Put that right there.
Mhm.
But no, that's my take on who should probably be a NFL comeback player of the year, Brian Robinson.
It's spicy.
So long as he performs on a week-to-week basis and performs well.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
I really
Agreed.
like that. Okay. Whoa. Everybody's big again. This is weird. Okay. Let's go on to our next part. I love this every single year. Side showdown. We are all going to pick our top 3 favorite sides. I'm going to go ahead and establish a rule right now. Kyle, you have asked this the past 2 years, and I'm going to clarify it for you this year. Mac and cheese counts as a side. There you go. Yep. Yeah, I knew you both were, because you both have said it before. Anyways, let's see if that changes this year. If anything new has been introduced. Who wants to go first?
Are we having to pick just one side, or can we
3.
pick? Oh, 3.
And you can't pick apple pie this year. That's cheating. That's a dessert.
That I wasn't gonna pick apple pie.
Okay.
I can do my 3, 2, 1. You guys can think. Like I already have
for
it noted. All right, my number 3 is it's mac and cheese, no doubt. I like mac and cheese overall of these other sides I'm going to choose, but Thanksgiving sides particularly, I look forward more to the other 2, the mac and cheese. But done right, mac and cheese is a very good Thanksgiving side. Done in the Cheese Whiz way / Kraft mac and cheese, throw that crap off the table and never bring it back to me.
Yeah.
But done the right way, homemade, like not homemade noodles, but like get some elbow noodles, boil them, get some real dang cheese in there, and we got a good side there. We're all good. We love it. I'll eat it. Leftovers tomorrow and the next day after that. Number 2 would be mashed potatoes and gravy, or just mashed potatoes and butter, or just mashed potatoes and sour cream. I don't care what you put on mashed potatoes. I will eat it. And then number 1 is broccoli cheese casserole. It's like crack. It's like crack to me. Like it's broccoli cannot be eaten alone, but when it's with cheese, put that thing in a blender and I will drink it. I love it. Maybe with some bread on top too, some toasty bread. That's really good too. I'm a big fan of that. It's always the first thing that's gone at the table, and I'm pissed about it every year. So
Kyle kept 2 of 3 of his from the last 2 years.
Oh, really?
Mac and cheese and mashed potatoes.
Did I not put broccoli cheese there?
No. I can't remember what it was last time. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't broccoli cheese casserole. The only person who says broccoli cheese casserole will probably go next.
Yep, no, that's me. I'm just going to be non-dramatic about it. Number 1 is broccoli cheese casserole, and you have not tasted broccoli and cheese casserole until you've tasted my mom's broccoli and cheese casserole, because that stuff hits different. I'm telling you right now. So no, it's very, very good. Number 2, I have to say my mom's stuffing. It's very, very good. She knows how to make it right. And me, I like savory things. I like carbs. So no, I will shovel that stuff down my esophagus very, very quickly. And then number 3, I've been converted. I gotta go with mac and cheese. It's like me. I don't mind the Kraft stuff. I'm not like, get this crap away from me. But no, if someone wants to give me some legit mac and cheese, I will always love it. No, that's it's very good stuff when done really, really well. And when it's baked, you put some bacon bits on that stuff. Oh yes. So yeah, no, those are my 3.
It's different.
It hits different.
All right, Matt, you got 3.
All right. So for me, number 3, I got to go with mashed potatoes and gravy.
All right.
However, you guys have talked about mashed potatoes and gravy a little bit. I'm going to throw some curveballs for you. So number 2, it's got to be deviled eggs.
Ooh.
Yeah. I will sit there, and I have been smacked on the hand for doing this, but while we're making the mix to put on the deviled eggs, every so often just slide by, get get a little taste of it, make sure it's good, so on and so forth. Now, we are a little bit of a house divided when it comes to it. I like paprika on mine, whereas Shannon does not like paprika. So it's just like, I remember like our first Thanksgiving together, I'm like, where's the paprika? She's like, you don't put it on there. It's like, you can't even taste it, but that's a different subject. But, deviled eggs for me at number 2. And number 1, and it has to be this. It has to be Ocean Spray cranberry sauce.
What?
Ocean Spray cranberry sauce.
Yeah,
You ever had cranberry sauce?
No, I've had cranberry sauce, not Ocean Spray
Do you
cranberry.
eat it by itself, or do you put it on something?
Oh, you put it on something.
No. You could put it on something, but if I'm one of those, if I could just grab a can and just eat it right out of it, I probably would, and not be ashamed of that. But, it's definitely one of those. You got to open it from the bottom and then, slice it up real nice.
Yep.
It's got to be the Ocean Spray, cranberry sauce. Don't cheap out. Don't get the Great Value brand. Don't get Meyer brand or whatever brand. No, it's got to be Ocean Spray cranberry sauce.
I've only ever done the cheap brand. That's why I was like, Ocean Spray? What are you talking about, Matt?
Dude, I swear to God, like, spend the $1.24 that it is at your local Walmart, at your local Meijer.
Does it hit different?
It does. It does. Like, you can taste the cranberry.
I like that.
No, that's for me.
You can taste the ocean.
Exactly.
I don't think I want to. I'm okay. I love this podcast. Oh my god. Number 3. So I'm gonna sound like a spoiled little rich kid for a second, but it's not meant to be. So Devin makes cranberry sauce from scratch. It is so good. Like I can't explain how good it is. Like I need it every year. I beg her to make it every year. And she makes it for Christmas too, so I get it twice. It makes me happy. 2 has to be green bean casserole. Like, that stuff is just smacking. It is smacking. And thankfully, my father-in-law is the same way, so we both can get what we want at Thanksgiving, and we both make it. And then the last one has to be squash casserole. I've brought it up for 3 years now. I really need to send you guys the recipe for it. It's super easy. It's really cheesy and good. It's basically just put cheese and Ritz crackers and some squash together, and that's basically it. So it's pretty good. But yeah, that's my 3. What do we have? Oh, cool. We got the fun part. All right, guys. So it is a thankful Thursday. Real briefly, what are you guys thankful for? It can be sports. It can be life. It can be whatever. Just tell me what you're thankful for. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go for it.
So for me, I am thankful for my family, Shannon and, my 3 kids, Emma, Noah, and Liam. Sure, kids can be a terror sometimes, but every day, I'm thankful that, to have them in my life and that I'm able to, provide for them, the way that I can. So that's one thing I'm most thankful for. But yeah, that's what I'm most thankful for.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it's hard to beat family. I have to put that right up at the top. My mom and dad and my brother, they mean the world to me, and I can't imagine life without them. I also have to add in all the friends I've made. I have friends in Indiana. I have friends in Florida. I'm now living in Tennessee, so I'm hoping to make some friends here too. Probably by the time this episode airs, I will hopefully have some as well. So
you're the only 10 I see.
Oh no, not another dad joke.
I'm so
not
proud.
Another one. There you go. So no, that's what I'm thankful for. And at this point already, Ohio State is still undefeated, so I'm happy for that too.
That'll change. Kyle.
I'm thankful for my wife, and I got married a couple months ago now. This last weekend, where we're at now in the real world, not pre-recorded. I was sick, and not to get too graphic, but it was like upchucking out of both ends at the same time. And then, she came home, took care of me, and just beyond it taking care of me at this point, it's more of just like her, being there beside me and just doing so much for me on a daily basis, and that probably gets unrecognized, and I take it for granted at times, but very, very thankful for her and her care, family as well, all you guys, all my friends, the new job that I have, definitely better than the grocery store that I won't mention, the Big Bird, but the teaching job that I have now is going really well, and the support that I have in the classroom is really good. And then I'm also very thankful that AJ Brown is an Eagle, and the Titans were stupid enough to trade him to the Eagles.
That was pretty dumb.
Yeah,
it's a bold strategy.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays up for him.
There it is.
I'm trying to think of everything I want to say. Let's see if I get it right on the first try. Let's see. I'm very thankful for my wife, who by the time this airs will be 2 months out, less than 2 months out from meeting my son, which is kind of wild to think about that I'm going to be a dad, because I'm crazy. Anyway, but yeah.
Lord God, protect that child.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm very thankful for my family, my parents, my sister, all my extended family that I'm getting reconnected with as an adult because, distance is difficult. I'm very thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for all you guys and your friendship and being able to put on silly podcasts for Thanksgiving every year. That's my favorite tradition so far right now. I'm very thankful that COVID is starting to go away and that we're not desperately clinging to any sort of sport that's on and that sports are readily available. And I'm just thankful to be doing this for 3 years. I didn't know how long this podcast was going to last. We didn't know what it was going to look like, and we've made it work, and we've expanded. We've got Jay here also, who's not with us, but we've expanded to a lot of good things, and I'm just really proud of where we are and where you guys are. And yeah, I think that about does it. Let me see what we got next here. Oh, it's my favorite time. It is not Thanksgiving without blank. This can be traditions. This can be something that you have to watch every year. Just something. It's not Thanksgiving without this.
A 3 or 4 day break from work. I don't know. Thanksgiving to me is a time about relaxation / family. And ideally, in a perfect world, everybody would have that amount of time of doing that. And I get not everyone does because, life sucks and jobs are hard sometimes. We don't get that opportunity. But for me, spending that uninterrupted / not stressed out, have to be somewhere time with my loved ones, that to me is Thanksgiving, not having to get gifts, receive gifts, go here to give this stuff. I love Christmas, but all of that, Thanksgiving, just about just sitting and communing and being there present for a while with loved ones. That's Thanksgiving to me. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was really hard to follow up.
Yeah, no, it is.
I was going to say.
Yeah, so everything that Kyle just said, plus for me, well, in our family, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without a movie night showing of Miracle on 34th Street. I'm talking about the old one that's black and white.
Because it starts on.
Yes, with Maureen O'Hara and let's see, Natalie Wood. I would have to double check that. But no, it's a great movie in that the first scene takes place on Thanksgiving with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting so much deja vu because I watched those other episodes today. I shouldn't have done that. Anyways.
Don't wreck my Thanksgiving, Brett. Please.
I'm not. I just knew what you were going to say.
Oh, there you go. No, Miracle 34th Street. It starts on Thanksgiving Day, and then it goes through Christmas. And so it's a great way to ring in Thanksgiving, but also ring in the Christmas season. And so, no, that's a tradition we've started in our family, and I love it very, very much. So, wouldn't be Thanksgiving without that.
All right. So for me, it would not be Thanksgiving if we didn't watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, the actual
because
one.
the 4-hour long one. But it's fine because I sit there with the kids, we watch it, watch all the floats, and we have cinnamon rolls involved, and I drink my coffee. So it's not Thanksgiving without that. And then obviously food. I mean, that's a big part of Thanksgiving, so on and so forth. But also for me, to add on to movies, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving if the first day of the Christmas season we didn't watch A Christmas Story. And I feel like we do have to sit there and watch that on Thanksgiving Day. Don't shoot your eye out. And then yeah, they are supposed to
come
come
out coming out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a second one coming out. But it's also fun because while we're watching that, we're starting to put the Christmas tree up and everything. Like, Thanksgiving, it is supposed to be like a relaxing day, so on and so forth. But we make it busy by doing all these extra things, to kind of get the kids hyped up for the Christmas season. So it's always fun. So that for me, that's what Thanksgiving, like, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving without those things that we do.
I like that. I have to agree with Matt. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has been almost every year of my life. My mom would put it on and we'd watch it together. Most recently, last year was weird. We didn't have any family. It was just me and Devin. And we put it on in the kitchen. When we got to work, we started baking. It's probably one of the best meals I've ever had because I got to pick everything that was being made. And we made it together. And it was just nice just having that time in the kitchen with her, just spending time making fun of each other, putting flour on her nose, just being fun. And I think, not saying that I don't want my family to be here, because I'm going to have both sides of my family together for a holiday for the first time since we've been married. So that's going to be either really fun or really terrifying. I don't know yet. But
you saw Christmas Vacation, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
I'm going to start, putting that in your mind now.
I know, and now I'm terrified. But it has to be Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, cooking in some degree, and I have to watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I have to, because it's just a classic, and I feel like Dad always put it on every year. In another one, I saved that for dessert. I forgot
another one.
So we're on to year 3 of our stuffing debate. I was really hoping to have another Southerner with me on this one, so I'm not even going to ask the second question. But do we like or do we hate stuffing? Yes or no?
We like my mom's.
Yeah, done right.
Love
it's
stuffing.
really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a really easy debate.
Yay! We all agree. Agreement phase. Where's our agreement phase?
I wouldn't have agreed with you 3 years ago, but 2 years ago, when my stepmother-in-law and father-in-law came out, she made the best freaking stuffing I've ever had in my life, and I loved it. And now I'm like, oh, now I have to eat it all the time. I won't avoid this anymore. So I'm on board.
Cool.
Desserts, guys. Hit me with your T-Day must-have. What is it?
Apple pie.
Apple pie. It's got
no question.
It's got to be apple pie for me. Pumpkin pie, in my opinion, is overrated.
Ooh,
Me, it's like it's a texture thing for me. The taste I'm okay with, but texture I'm just like
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has
apple
that
pie is
issue.
Perfect.
Exactly.
So apple pie. Kyle?
I love a good pumpkin roll. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
That stuff
Ooh.
slaps. Not a big
fat boy, and you said pumpkin roll. Ooh,
not a big pumpkin pie guy. Not a big pie guy in general. If it's there, like, I'll eat it. but it's really never ever there. It's not an offering for me usually. Like I never ever see it anywhere besides like in the fridge of a Perkins restaurant. So like, that's the only place I ever see it. So pumpkin roll is usually more offered at Thanksgiving. So that's usually what I go with. So
understandable.
Yeah.
I wish I had the other Southerner here with me because he's literally in the state of pecans. Because for me, it's pecan pie. I love pecan pie. My dad makes homemade pecan pie almost every Thanksgiving. I love it. What are you laughing at?
Pecan.
I knew you were going to say it.
I mean, I live in Tennessee now. Does this technically make me a Southerner?
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Thanks,
Fair.
Matt.
Strictly by definition, sure.
Hey, I went to school down in Florida in the Panhandle, and now I live in Tennessee.
Well, I wouldn't call Floridians anything.
The retirement home.
They're their own breed.
Hey, if you lived in Florida, you know the Panhandle is different.
I was gonna say, I was born in Florida. I do consider Florida a southern state. Shannon and I have had numerous arguments because she has family in West Virginia, so on and so forth.
Oh.
And she considers them Southern, but not Florida. No. It's just like there's a reason why crazy articles start with.
Is it called Southern Virginia or West Virginia? That's what I thought. It's not Southern.
I'm just saying, like Virginia, West Virginia, those are a classy Southern. Florida is like the white trash Southern. So.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yes.
Wow. Clearly, y'all have ever been to the Panhandle.
I was born in the Panhandle. I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Which part?
It's like near Tampa.
Tampa's not the Panhandle.
You're the Panhandle.
Your mom's the Panhandle.
Ouch.
Hold on. Now you have me wondering.
I think West Virginians might be upset that you called them classy.
It was meant as a compliment.
They're gathering up their guns right now.
What do you mean we're classy?
Oh, wait. Hold on.
They're on their back porch. Hey, what that Pennsylvanian done said about me?
So
Where's my shit?
Gertrude, grab your shotgun.
Here we go. I was actually born in Brooksville, Florida, which is in the Panhandle.
Okay.
So there we go. It's been so long since I've been down there.
So
forgot where it
weird.
is.
3 out of the 4 of us have lived in Florida because I lived in Orlando, but I also lived in Bradenton when I was a kid.
I think so.
So
yeah, no.
I've also been in the Panhandle. You say Panhandle like it's the Bermuda Triangle. Also, did everyone think that was a big problem when you were a kid, and then you grew up and like, why is no one talking about the Bermuda Triangle? Like anyone else, like quicksand, the Bermuda Triangle, all that stuff that I thought this is going to be a big problem when I'm an adult.
Be a problem. Maybe it was only a problem when we were kids.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay.
I'm thankful that the Bermuda Triangle is no longer a problem.
Amen. Let's go to Fact or Fiction. Matt is new to Fact or Fiction, but I think he's going to like it. So I'm going to ask everybody a bunch of questions, and it's either a fact or it's fiction. Well, I guess that was pretty self-explanatory. Okay. So the first one, Ant-Man Quantumania will be the best MCU film next year. Fact or fiction?
Wait, preface this. Do we only say a sentence or is it?
Yeah, it's just a sentence. I'm sorry. You get one sentence.
Fact, because Kang is going to beat the crap out of Paul Rudd, and everyone that is under 40 has always wanted to punch Paul Rudd because he doesn't look 40. He looks 25. Okay.
I was just going to say fact because recognizable characters and characters we care about, but that works too.
Yeah.
I was going to say fact because, I don't want to punch Paul Rudd. I happen to like you guys. So that's my take. I come in peace, Paul Rudd.
I won't hurt you, you beautiful, beautiful man.
Brian Fantana.
Sweet potato casserole is overrated. Fact or fiction?
If we haven't had sweet potato casserole, are we still allowed to comment? Or
You're exempt. You are exempt. That's okay.
Fiction. If it's done right, it's really freaking good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to say fact because I'm not a fan of sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. And then what? If I described it to you, we need a tiebreaker. If I described it to you, Luke, would that help you?
Sure, yeah.
So it's almost kind of a soupy mess of brown sugar, marshmallows, and sweet potato.
It's more like a dessert
But
than an
brown
actual.
sugar, I like, but what was it? Marshmallows. If you cook marshmallows, they can get that like gooey texture that I'm just like I shy away from. So it might be one of those things where if it had a different texture, I
You
might
guys are
enjoy it.
texture people.
But if it's gooey, my texture alarm is just gonna go off. So.
You guys are texture
right.
people.
Thanksgiving never has any texture. Thanksgiving's the goopiest.
It's one texture.
So
Oh my gosh.
before we go on to the next one, is it sweet potatoes or is it yams?
Oh, it
Sweet.
yams from where my wife is from. For me, it's sweet potatoes.
Interesting.
I
Being
gotta say
another
sweet potato,
Pennsylvanian, Kyle, is it yams or sweet potatoes?
I mean, I've always called it. I mean, I've heard of obviously yams, but honestly, for a while in my life, I didn't know that yams was sweet potatoes and sweet potatoes was yams. So I've always called it sweet potatoes.
That's fair.
There you go.
I call it gross.
Yeah, I would probably have to side. What was the statement? It was sweet potato casserole is overrated. I'd probably have to say fact based purely on what my prediction of what my reaction to the texture would be.
Ouch, painful. But so you both are texture people. I did
think
not know
so,
that,
yeah.
and now I do.
I can do chewy. I just can't do gooey.
That makes sense. Kind of. I mean, I like gooey, but not everybody does.
That's why I also look at people who just take icing, like cake icing, just straight icing, and just stick it in their mouth. I go, I
So
can't.
great.
No.
I'm on board, man.
I used to get. You guys know those like healthy pretzel chips, right?
Oh, I love those.
I used to get those, and I'd get a thing of icing, and I just.
Oh yeah, dude, try those and grapes together. They're really good.
Yes, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Although that's a lot healthier than what I was doing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is grape icing. It's still the same thing, man.
This one you'll all probably enjoy. This may finally be the year Alabama doesn't make the playoffs. Fact or fiction?
Fiction, because y'all always find a way to make it. Y'all are bums.
I am going to say fact because I think you drop either the Ole Miss game or the Georgia game if you make it to Atlanta.
Assuming it's Georgia that's there.
Assuming it's Georgia that's there, yes. Now, if it's Tennessee that's there, I would pick you guys to win that game because vengeance is a healthy motivator. So if you get there and it's Tennessee, you guys probably make it. But if it's Georgia, I think you drop one of those. You drop either the Georgia game or the Ole Miss game.
We'll see.
I personally am going to say fiction because, to Kyle's point, they've somehow find a way to get in there. And Nick Saban, as much as I hate the guy, he runs a great football program. So my take is that it's fiction. You guys will be in there.
Dang. I really thought that was going to be more facts, but I understand. Okay. Has everyone seen Rings of Power before I ask this one? If not, I'll skip.
I have not.
What?
Okay, all right.
My boy.
Just from the realms I go and the media that I consume, I just heard that it was just an over-politicized pile of crap. Am I wrong? Okay.
It was.
Oh yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong.
I'm
really
wrong. Okay.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was like, no.
It's not. Yeah, I didn't get that sense at all, and I'm usually aware of those things, and I just thought it was just a really well done journey. I think it started off a little slow, but
Yes.
after episode 3, like I'm hooked.
Well, okay, so
yeah.
Ring of Power is goated. Fact or fiction?
I think it's fact. I enjoyed it. I'd give me more. Yeah.
I say fact. It was.
Oh,
Okay.
I've not watched it yet. So
Neither
I
have
cannot
I,
comment
but
on it.
these two over here, they might be a little crazy sometimes, but I when it comes to recommendations like that, I probably will not give it a try.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just busy schedule, so I got to find time to
It's
sit there
long.
and actually.
Me, it's scared because I love Lord of the Rings so much, and it's like, how dare you desecrate this beautiful thing?
But trust me, if you got through the Hobbit movies, you're good. Like,
Oh, this is way
You
better
know,
than
like-
Hobbit movies, but
I mean, I do.
yeah,
That's
like
fair.
them too. I just like for me, I'm right there with you. Like nothing. It's so hard for me to do anything else than just Lord of the Rings because those are so perfect to me, and they forever will be.
But
Like it just has good things that really kind of remind you of that. It's not the full thing. It's not every episode you're like, wow, this is exactly like Lord of the Rings. But there's moments throughout and characters throughout that I think like, you get that similar feeling. I think.
Okay.
So,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Kyle, I have to ask you a question without ruining anything for them. Did you
Okay.
understand the big reveals?
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, did you know beforehand?
I had an inkling. Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
Yeah, especially for the first reveal, not the second one. The second one, I was like, what?
The second
If
one.
you're enough of a nerd, do you think someone will catch on to those references early?
Maybe.
The tall man, yes. The other one, not really.
Okay.
See, I caught on to the other one. I mean, the first one you have your guesses, right? The second one, whatever. We're good.
I was gonna say if I say a word in Elvish, one of them will know what it is.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But they do a lot of things really good justice. We'll say that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna go in and like the Star Wars sequel trilogy and all the characters I love have been absolutely crapped on.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's kind of what I was afraid might be happening.
So Super Bowl prediction: Eagles, Bills. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
I'm gonna go fiction just because it's when I don't believe in them is when they start to prove me wrong. But you know what? I would love to see that Super Bowl because can you imagine those fans in the parking lot? Like the Philly fan would eat horse crap, and then after he'd eat horse crap, the Bills fan would throw him on a table, and then the horse crap would come out of him. Imagine
Yeah. That sounds about right.
You paint a pretty picture, Kyle.
Look, here's the thing. I'm biased because my dad grew up in upstate New York. And even though he's a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan, he's always liked the Bills, especially when they went 4 straight years to the Super Bowl and lost each one. So for this year, the entire family are Bills fans, and I hope that they can pull one out.
For sure.
I'm going to say fact, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a score out there. I'm going to say it's going to be 25 to 19.
That is an interesting score.
And I'm going to go with the Bills.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
Count us out. Everybody does, including me.
It's
I'm
true.
sorry, but
it's true.
the
You on
Bills-
game day are just like, I hate this whole team. Scrap them all, trade them all, and then after the game, that was a good game. They did really well this week.
The only reason why I say it is because the Bills, they are long overdue.
Yeah, they deserve it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Erie right now in Bills country. I'd love for them to win it. So, that'd be awesome for their fans.
Okay, I was really hoping the Georgia fan was going to be here for this one, but he's not, so I'm going to say it anyways. Stetson Bennett is a poor man's Matt Schaub. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fiction. I think he has committed himself better than we would have expected. each time we get down on him, he does something to just screw with us and blow our minds.
Especially in that Missouri game. He blew my mind by throwing so many incomplete passes.
Here's the thing. He's played well enough in enough good games where you can't just say he's crap. He has.
You're right. You have to believe he's crap.
He has the trust of that Georgia team. He's taken them to a national championship. And unlike some of us here, Georgia's still undefeated. So I have to give Stetson Bennett some credit with what he's been able to do. Now, is he going to be able to continue that in the face of the competition? That chapter has yet to be written. But if I'm looking at previous pages in his book.
What competition? Kentucky?
I don't think they've actually played yet. Have they played yet?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
But hey, it's like, Oregon is now in the top 10 and they absolutely demolished Oregon. So
true, but Oregon also hasn't really played anybody since Georgia. So
whatever.
But they'd be in your 12-team playoff. Bo Nix, you've got a shot.
Bo Nix, you've got a shot, and he ruins the shot in the first play.
Correct.
You've got a shot, and you shot yourself.
And then you shot it. You shot it. Our shot's been shot. Yep.
So I'm not throwing away my
fiction from Luke. Did anybody else jump in on that?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, I would say it's fiction. I would say Stetson Bennett is a poor man's faster Andy Dalton.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Ooh.
I'll take that.
So you're saying Stetson Bennett is an NFL QB?
Well, Andy Dalton was pretty crap, and he made it. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Andy Dalton was so mid. Honestly, Andy Dalton was so mid his entire career.
Well, I'm not giving you the face about that. I'm giving you the face about Stetson in the NFL. So what, hold the water for everybody?
He could be a good back. Yeah, he could be a good backup. Why not?
So what? Kyler Murray?
Listen, freaking Chad Henne, Chase Daniel.
Brady Quinn.
There's so many horrible quarterbacks that are backups, but they made it,
No, I don't like it. I don't like Stetson Bennett.
You just don't like him because he beat you in the Natty last year.
No, I hated him before that, actually.
Every player he hates is a player that beat Alabama. Brad was like the biggest Hunter Renfrow fan, and then Clemson beat them. He's like, "Oh, I forgot I got Hunter Renfrow."
It's just that one play because I didn't like that it was.
You don't start Zeke in fantasy.
Who sets a pick in freaking football?
A lot of people don't. Legally and illegally. Yeah,
I hate it.
So
but that's not completely true because I like Joe Burrow.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I like Joe Burrow.
So it just had these happen in like.
I don't like that he plays for the Bengals, but I like Joe Burrow. I think the Bengals are going to ruin his entire career. Honestly,
it must be because he went to Ohio State and then LSU, so a negative and a negative becomes a positive.
Yeah, kind of.
But then he goes to he's playing in Cincinnati, so negative times a negative times another negative.
Should be a negative. Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah. No.
Oh wow.
So I am going to go ahead and be the odd man out and say fact, because I do feel like there are other factors that carry that Georgia offense or that Georgia team. Last year
his name is Brock. Yeah, thank you.
I was going to say last year. I mean, Georgia's defense was just. I mean, there's a reason why so many people or so many players from that team went in the first round of this past year's draft.
Yep.
So I am going to be the odd man out and say fact on Stetson Bennett.
I like it. I'm going to do two more. The Jets and Giants aren't stinkers anymore. Fact or fiction?
Fact. They're getting there, man. Yeah. Fact.
I am going to say fact as well. Both New York teams have surprised me this year. So let's see if that surprise factor continues.
We shall watch their career with great interest.
Yeah. Let's see if I can draw some ire from Luke on this one.
That's not hard.
LeBron James retires after this season. Fact or fiction?
Fiction, because he's already said he's going to play with his son, and his son's not going to be in the league next year. It might. His son probably isn't going to be in the league for another 2 years. Yeah,
if he gets drafted. A lot of people said they won't even draft him.
Well, I mean, look, here's
whoever team LeBron's on, that team's going to pick him up. So
there's that, or someone else is going to pick him up, depending on how well he's playing. So no, if LeBron is still playing well, Bronny's going to be a hot commodity, no matter how Bronny is playing, because it's like.
Now, Bronny.
It's a package deal at this point.
You sound like you're from Chicago. Yeah, you're Bronny, wherever it goes. Yeah.
It's like you're trying to say jabroni, but it's coming out jabrani.
Jabrani, yeah.
No, jabrani. It's about drive. It's about power.
Gosh.
But no, I would say fiction. He does not retire next year. He waits until his son is in the league.
Interesting.
I am also going to go with fiction. Bronny is, like I think, 2 years away from being drafted. Still has a lot of time to develop. So, and LeBron has made it abundantly clear that he will play with Bronny. So,
I mean, they're doing.
I think it's fiction.
Commercials together now.
I'm just sold because LeBron James doesn't like to lose, and that Lakers team sucks. Really sucks. There is no redeeming that Lakers team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they added some pieces over the offseason, but I'm going to reserve my judgment until I actually see them in action.
Not enough. Like we said, you're either really good or really bad. And I didn't hear Kyrie Irving going to the Lakers. Who cares?
No, honestly, I would take the new look Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell over the Lakers.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
I would say fact, because I think Russell Westbrook's going to piss him off so much he's going to retire.
There's something I hadn't even thought about.
I think he'll be back for sure.
We'll see. But anyways, that should wrap us up. This will bring us to about 11:30-ish, which means you'll be warming up your food and getting ready for the game. So from all of us here, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out with us again, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.